is such a beautiful movie. But 20 years ago, you didn't socialize with Emily and Anne because you wanted to intimidate them, you know, with the character. How was it this time? Because you're friends now, and
Yeah, well, the first time I did want to socialize with them, and I did for the first week, and then I realized that we'd walk on the set to do a scene, and we'd been laughing and screaming, you know, and then we walk on, and I sort of try to pull it all in and behold, and there's like a molecule shift, you know, there's a slight diminishment of authority. It was a weird thing, and I am not sort of like Miranda in any part of my corpuscle of my being. So I'm not.
You're the opposite.
So yeah, it was hard for me to make that shift, and I think it was hard for them, or I made it. I explained it to myself that I made it easier for them to be abused by me if they didn't, you know, they weren't laughing with me 5 minutes before.
How was it for you? And like, well, working with Meryl the first time, and now was it different?
Well, we definitely laughed more the second time.
You did, yeah.
More relaxed.
But my memory of the first one was always, I always felt like you brought your energy into rehearsal, and then you would go into hair and makeup, and Miranda would come out and you would be Miranda for the rest of the day. So I learned, you know, I just learned to kind of like ride with that difference. But it did bring, you know, to a set that was wonderfully loose in so many ways. It did bring a wonderfully sharp backbone to it that the rest of us then could react around. This time, I think just, you know, knowing how it had worked the first time, knowing that we were in wonderful hands with, you know, our director, and knowing how much fun hopefully the audience was going to have.
And you also weren't afraid of me this one. I mean, it's kind of a different thing.
Well, I think it would have been awful if for 20 years I held and all of that and I never relaxed around you. That just would have been so horrible for both of us. So it had to happen.
Este es el trailer. Oh, es la pelirroja.
Wait. Oh, that's not what you're wearing to the dinner. That's all.
Oh my God, just hide a feeling for once, please.
Well, times changed, and now everybody gets offended by everything. So, how was it for Miranda saying a few things that you could say 20 years ago, but now, I don't know.
Yeah, I think people will relate to that. But, yeah, it's just like every pendulum, you know, every good idea goes way off into the, better pull it back and let's go. You know, we're in the swing. We're in the swing. Yeah, the world is changing so rapidly, and I think that's addressed in this new version. Yeah.
Well, you know, in Argentina, I'm very famous for tripping and falling many times on television. So, and now I'm in good company.
Yes, you are. I think we have that in common.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ah. Diablo, viste de Prada.
How did it happen? I mean,
Viste a la moda.
No, that was, the thing that was,
a long day.
it was a long few weeks. I had been, it was
Tired.
6 weeks. I wasn't tired. What it was in order to make the film even more beautiful, we had to do constant wet downs of the street.
Yeah.
So that meant that I was racing across Manhattan in heels over wet pavement.
yeah.
And it just, I remember right before that take, looking down and seeing a tiny little puddle on the stair. And I just clocked it, and I remember thinking, and this is, by the way, the last shot we did on the streets of New York. And I remember thinking, should I ask someone to mop that up? And I felt like it would be too demanding to ask someone to grab a towel and do that for me. And I'm like, it'll be fine. And then it happened. So next time I might be that little bit more demanding.
Or a little more Miranda.
A little bit more.
Okay, but the fashion, it's incredible in the movie. You had like 47 different outfits. It's,
I love that you counted.
Yeah. Do you keep anything, or they don't let you?
No, we're going to consign it to an auction.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
To
I
benefit
read
a
that you
couple
put
of
like earrings that you bought in CVS on the pharmacy. They were silver, and that you put them in one of the. Oh. I don't imagine.
That's mommy's little secret.
Okay. I don't imagine you go into a pharmacy and buying stuff like people recognize you everywhere. Or is it easy for you now?
I have good invisibility energy.
Oh, yeah.
Buena
So
energía, mi cielo.
hopefully it'll continue. But I'm able to walk around and live my life and be a normal person. Yeah, if you don't walk in kind of announcing yourself
Okay,
everywhere,
you can do it.
you can kind of I can
Sí,
dress
puedo
that
vestir
up.
más
It's not that hard.
No es tan difícil.
Okay.
We'll see.
Ya veremos.
I
Ahora con esa película vas a ver.
Everybody knows.
Ya lo sabía.
She's lying.
Otra vez.
Okay. And when you watch the movie or your grandchildren, what do they say about your characters? And because it's a movie for the whole family.
well, my 7-year-old grandson just watched the first movie last Sunday.
Oh.
And he called me up and he said, Mimi, this is the best person you've ever played. I said, really? Now, his favorite characters, you have to understand, are
¿Cómo va a
Maleficent,
decir?
every witch that ever was, every villain that ever was. So I'm fitting right into his category of favorites.
I'm gonna meet him. That sounds amazing.
He's a great guy.
What about your sons? They separate mother from the character? Or?
They haven't seen it yet.
No, the first one, no?
No.
Okay. You're keeping it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the next few weeks, but yeah, hasn't
Nobody's
yet.
seen it. Our families haven't seen this one.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure meeting you. It was a dream come true. I always wanted to meet you both, and especially you because I admire you so much. You were my password. I will have to
It was a
change it
good
now.
run. It was a really good run, yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Ay, genial.
Pero bueno, a ver, dejo parar un segundo acá. Bueno, muchas gracias. Están dando comida ahora también.
Voy a ganar. ¿Este lo que es? Chocolate. Ah, sí, quiero uno.
Magnum. Magnum.
Está muy bien.
Hay que comer.
Bueno,
Vamos a probar todo, ¿no?
vamos a probar todo, la verdad.
El catering de esa película, ¿eh?
Es una comida.
La comida.
¿O qué sería?
Bueno, la verdad que lo hemos pasado genial. Vamos a caminar un poquito para mostrar acá. Ahí la hemos visto a Meryl Streep y a Anne Hathaway. Momento de lujo realmente que hemos vivido. Pero bueno, vamos a tener mucho más de México. Tenemos mucho más para recorrer y para conocer. Así que vamos a continuar la semana que viene también.
Obvio que sí. Más de México, más de la moda, todo junto.
Más de todo. Así que acá tenemos un adelanto de lo que hay en el próximo programa de Por el Mundo. Miren.
Muy pronto, un nuevo capítulo estreno desde México. Visitamos Coyoacán.
Están todos acá, se juntaron y están esperando a mí. Llegué.
Probamos huevos de hormiga.
Parece como si fuera una larva, ¿viste? Pero es así.
La textura de la larva me parece, como que es más cremoso y...
México ya se prepara para el Mundial y te mostramos el arte y el fútbol fusionados.
Mira lo que es este metegol.
El arte y el
Es
juego.
un partidazo genial. No creo que se puede jugar, me imagino, ¿no?
No, todo.
Pero estaría bueno jugar partidito.
Un metegol gigante.
Visitamos la lucha libre mexicana.
Están los técnicos contra los recludos, están pegando con todo.
Andando con todo.
La historia de los voladores y además, en lancha visitamos la peligrosa isla de las muñecas.
Esto es espectacular, te digo. Es un gran plan para hacer. O sea.
Sí, aparte el fin de semana te hace especial.
Sí.
Comes de un pote al otro, te entran los bailarines y bailan acá. Estás comiendo.
Esto es lo que más nos gusta a nosotros.
Ahora para llegar a este carnet.
No es todo tan glamuroso como
No,
nosotros, viste, para esto tuvimos que esperar a que se vaya toda la fiesta.
Paró de llover.
Pero paró de llover, esperamos a ver la lluvia y llegamos.
Muy bien, muy bien. Hemos visto moda, hemos visto estrellas de Hollywood, pero esto
Somos
continúa.
amigos de las protagonistas, todo.
La semana que
seguiremos tener mucho más de México en este especial de Por el Mundo con la Reini. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos. Chau.
Ah, muy genial.